welcome all of our guests to the Square Roundtable podcast. Yeah, I am going to be your host somewhat tonight, Demetrius, of course. We got our man Josh and we got Marcus here. They're
What's
here
good?
to hang
What's
out with
good?
us.
Yes, sir.
But
What's up,
today we're going to
everybody?
talk about The Harder They Fall. The first part will be The Harder They Fall, and then we'll chop it up about the No Way Home trailer, the new one, and anything else in between. All right.
Pretty much. But what's going on, fellas? How y'all night going, man?
You
Day for
know.
you, Demetrius. It's night for us.
Oh yeah, I've still got a couple of hours before it gets nighttime. It's just nighttime, but like before it gets like midnight, y'all in midnight
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, basically.
And work is work. Another day, another dollar.
Yeah, so
Oh,
of course, y'all know this is like the year of the Netflix movies. Netflix been dropping some hits. So like you said, like Demetrius
some
said, we're gonna talk
duds.
about The Harder They Fall, which is a Western film.
Mm-hmm.
It stars Regina King,
Your boy.
Jonathan Majors,
Yep.
Idris Elba, Lakeith
Mm-hmm.
Stanfield.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of known black actors. Those are like the main stars, but it's basically a full black cast of actors in a western, which is very rare. So it's something that gives a breath of life to film or cinema. But so yeah, guys,
yeah.
what did you think? First, before we even get in, I like western. Like guys, do y'all like to watch westerns, or is it just something you just watch every now and then? What's a western that y'all enjoy that y'all will watch more than one time? That you
Marcus, me and you are both Star Wars fans, so we
Yeah,
we about the
Star
West.
Wars is
We
nothing but
about
a
the West.
western.
Yeah, we about the
I've been
West.
watching westerns since I was like
About that Western life. So we the good, the bad, the ugly. I wouldn't watch that again, but like I enjoyed that when I saw it. The good, the bad, the ugly. I think that's what it's called.
that's a long
With
movie.
Clint,
I don't
yeah,
blame
with Clint
you.
Eastwood. Great movie. I wouldn't go back and revisit it. But The Harder They Fall, it held up when it
Oh,
comes
yeah.
to westerns. It held up pretty well. There was some inconsistency, but there were some problems that I saw. They weren't big, but yeah,
That you can overlook. Kinda.
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
But what about you, Josh?
Basically, I like Cowboys, but I more so like the idea of Cowboys because I'm not really
Okay.
one that like. I like westerns, but I didn't finish the Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And only real, yeah, the only real like that I actually sat through and finished is like a parody of a western. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Gene Wilder. Yeah. It's like a parody. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That counts as a western.
It does, yeah.
You still got it. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So for me, that's one of my favorite genres because I love the whole idea of the western. Like the thing about westerns that I love is the shots, like of the wilderness and like when they have those like big, what is it? I'm losing the wide shots of the
Mhm.
landscape. It's almost like a portrait. Like it's beautiful. I love
Yeah,
them.
of course.
And the stories are always pretty good. It's always that the hero comes into town. It's the hero against the corrupt that's in the town. Once they find the corrupt and they handle it and they beat them, they leave town and they have to go on about their journey because they never can stay. They never can stay in that town. They always have to move to the next because that's what their life is about. They just keep moving. And it's fun to see different versions, especially for me. It's fun to see like these neo westerns that are coming out now, like stuff like Logan, No Country for Old Men, like Blade Runner, stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's cool to see like a reimagining of the western because it's always been considered almost like horror, a genre that kind of every 10 years and then it like reemerges and then it dies again. So it's cool. It's cool to see one every now and then. So
Did
like you said, I appreciated The Harder They Fall for what it was.
yeah? Did you see what was it? I had it. A Cowboy. I think it's called Cowboys versus Aliens. That movie that was. I think it was,
I never watched
Daniel
it
Craig.
with Daniel Craig because I was like,
Yeah.
bro, this just looks outrageous, and I couldn't take it serious. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I just couldn't take it serious, so I never watched it. But
Hey,
I definitely know.
I was wondering your opinion because like it definitely reimagines the Western whatever because it added aliens into it. So
Yeah.
could you consider? Well, I guess No, Independence Day is not necessarily a Western, or it couldn't be considered a Western.
It's more sci-fi.
Yeah,
that
like,
one
'cause
would take up more of the
Mhm.
sci-fi.
I was
Yeah.
thinking more or less
Okay.
for that Will Smith carrying the dude through the desert kind of scene or whatever, like, or
Yeah.
them fighting the aliens in that kind of Grand Canyon kind of area.
Yeah.
Would be
That give it
considered
that motif. Yeah, I see what
exactly.
you're saying.
So I was trying to go with
Yeah.
that, but then I thought, oh no, it's more sci-fi. 'Cause
Like
they
you
do-
said, Dmitri, Star Wars is just like the perfect example because a lot of people would put Star Wars in the category with sci-fi, like the greatest sci-fi movies. But I was watching the YouTube video and they did the top 10 westerns, and Star Wars was number one. And I was like, yes,
Hey.
because in Star Wars you got cantinas, you got Han Solo, who's like the outlaw. You got bounty hunters. You got the kid going under the wing of the old man, learning the ways of the West and teaching them. And then the old man dies and passes it on to the younger guy. He takes that hero's journey. You got the damsel in distress, even though she could hold her own. It's definitely a Western before it's a sci-fi. And then
Yeah.
George Lucas even says he was inspired by Westerns and those old samurai films. So it's more of a Western than it is sci-fi.
It is, because when you
anything.
even think about like the space battles, those are like, or the on the planet, like battles between, or not battles,
Mhm.
but the Empire versus the rebels when they're fighting. Or a great example is in the last movie when they were on the thing and they were getting chased by the jumper troopers or whatever. And I know what you're talking about. That whole scene itself is like some kind of like a Western, kind of like the horses and they're running after them, chasing them and trying to kill them because they have the fucking enemy.
Yes.
Or the bad guy in the situation.
Yeah, I was all good. I was gonna add on to what you were saying. Yeah, because with Star Wars specifically, I actually got around to watching episode 4. I fell asleep, of course, but basically, like you were saying earlier, Marcus, one thing about Westerns is that they like to really show the audience the overall atmosphere, as far as like the buildings and just the overall tone of just everything that's going on. And with Star Wars, they do that a lot because they pretty much have a lot of focus on the actual set and not just the characters.
Yeah.
And most sci-fi is more action and it's like fast-paced space battles and technology. And Star Wars almost feels like it's not in the future because like stuff looks beat up. Well, in the original trilogy, like everything's all beat up and torn down, and like you walk into the cantinas and it's all like rugged and low lit, and the spaceships look like they could fall apart any minute. So it's like that just speaks of Western all day.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, there's no argument that Star Wars is a Western or more a neo-Western or like a sci-fi Western. Even there are scenes when you're talking about Clone Wars, well, the movie, where they're in the Coliseum. That's
like a gladiator.
Yeah, it's more of a gladiator thing. So it has a lot of different genres mashed together into it to make it work. That's Star Wars for you. It just does a lot of good things.
We could, as y'all see, we could talk about that all day. But like we're here for, the harder they fall. So fellas, what was like your overall, like what did you guys think about it? How did you feel when you watched it? Because like y'all said, y'all not really Western people, but you still watched it. So how did you enjoy it as just a film, not even as a Western?
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was a long movie, and obviously that.
Oh yes.
Like crazy thing is, like I started it when it came out, and then I took a break from it because it was just like late night, and I was like, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. And I came back, and I was like, geez, it's an hour left of this thing. And it did. I would say one thing is it did feel that way, but I'm used to that kind of stuff in Star Wars and different Westerns of like long, drawn out kind of story plots and stuff like that. So it didn't bother me. It's just I had to chunk it. But I think that what's his name? Majors does a really good job of playing Nat Love, and Idris Elba definitely does a great job in his role, and everybody does a great job in their role that they do. Regina King, like she did an amazing job. That fight scene is probably the best part of that movie with that fight scene. I love that fight scene. Oh, that was so good. The camera, like the way the camera moved around that whole scene was just like amazingly like cool. Like I loved it.
Yeah, that was shot pretty good. I did like that. That was dope.
But I'll say the one thing I didn't like about it, or one thing that I obviously it made sense of the story, but I like who was the guy that Bill Pickett, right? The guy that was the trickster dude. Like the guy that would line up. His name's Eddie something. I forget his last name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Eddie, but his character definitely was a character that I understood he was a kid or whatever, but at some point in time, I was just like, all right, let's move along past this scene or whatever. Let's move to the next little bit. Your screen time's a little bit much, but I wasn't mad about it. I was just like, okay. But like the way they set him up for it to pay off was good.
Yeah.
I thought that payoff was like, oh yeah, the one who talks the most or whatever, that's gonna be the death of you pretty much. And it was. Him doing the showboarding tricks and all that stuff cost him everything. But I think he cheated. I still think he cheated. That was a cheat shot. But what do I know? I don't know anything about Westerns. Maybe that's part of the rule. Maybe that's part of the rules where you just shoot the man when he's counting down. That was cheap. But at the same time, I was like, man, you should have just, if you knew you're the better shot, you should have just stopped carrying it out like that. Okay.
Because one thing is like, homie, like emptied his gun and
pulled out the bullet with the name.
Pulled out the bullet with the name on him. Just like, bro, ain't nobody got time for that.
Right? I was like, bro, if you don't hurry up about this thing, like he was talking the most stuff the whole movie. I was like, bro, you better show out when it's your time to shine. You better be the one taking out the most people because you talking so much junk. I was expecting I kind of saw it coming, but I was hoping I was wrong. He was just gonna shoot off and kill what's his name? What's his character's name? Yeah. I thought he was gonna kill him. I was like, okay, because obviously I don't know nothing about these characters besides like what they are in the movie, so I had no historical knowledge of he's gonna get killed. But I just had a feeling like he's taking too long.
And that's my thing. Like with the movie, I was like, okay, I understand it's a fictional story, but with real characters. So I was like, okay, so they're probably gonna kill off half of these guys, even though most of them never even met each other. Yeah, I was like, but it's cool because it's fictional. I was like, I'm okay with all that. But
of course,
the one thing I had a problem with was the Stagecoach Mary cast.
Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about that regardless if it's gonna happen or not. We had to talk about that.
But before we, like you said, everything else was pretty good. Like I like the action was good. The cinematography was beautiful. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful.
The music choices was great.
Yeah, the music was good. The set pieces, or as we call the Mazin scene. I had to throw my film terminology in there real quick. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
But what else? The transition of the scenes and stuff was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only issue I had was some of the accents that they were supposed to do threw me off. Like with Regina King's accent, I was like, like you can tell she was trying to do an accent, and it would take me out of it sometimes because I was like, I know her regular speaking voice, so I could tell she was trying to do an accent instead of acting. Yeah, and then of course we know Idris, he just can't do an American accent.
No, bro.
And then he gonna try to do a Southern like American accent. I was like, bro, he's struggling. You know, like when he would get angry and start yelling, it would come out and you could hear it. I was like, man. I was like, it's okay. You did your best, my boy.
You did your best. Yeah, you held it down, bro. But like that accent was not for you, bro.
Yes, but he was intimidating as hell in that movie. I'll give him that.
Like, yeah. No, I got to talk about one thing because you just brought up a point that. Sorry, Josh, not to cut you off, but I have to get it out.
Yeah, it's all good.
Her whole plan to try to trade her salons for what's his name, him to get his trust or whatever. That was a stupid plan. Like that.
Oh yeah.
That made no sense to me, and it took me out for the. I was like, that was your big plan. Like you left my boy Nat sitting on sleeping on his horse or whatever for that plan. Bro. Like y'all could have roped that together a little bit better. That's one thing that kind of took me out a little bit.
That and the whole plot twist. Spoilers. If you haven't seen it,
I called that plot twist though. I called it.
Like I was like, okay, look, this is my thing about it. I think it would have hit different if they would have threw some kind of hint or gave some kind of clue that they was gonna have that relationship.
Yeah.
Or that relation. Because at the end, when he told him and he started like getting emotional, it didn't hit the same for me because I was like, he just found out. So I guess he's upset because he's the one who killed their father.
Yeah.
And that's why he's crying. But like I didn't get the emotional part of that. I was like, okay, I was like, that's cool. That's a good way to a good plot twist. But I was like, in most Westerns too, they already established, okay, here's the villain, here's the hero. The villain does this to the hero, and the hero's doing this to get his revenge, or the villain's doing this to get. It's already established. So when you get to that climax of the film, it's more satisfying. You know what I'm saying? It's enough to get to have that. That's what I feel like we missed that somewhere in the second act, because I feel like that's what they should have did it in that second act. And then once the third act comes, it's boom. Okay, we feel it.
So what you're kind of saying is if they would have made their standoff or their reveal like in the second end of the second act, like him saying he's related or whatever, or like hinting to it, that would have made the payoff.
Yeah, just a little hint. Yeah, because the payoff would have been a little bit better. Because I'm not saying it wasn't good. It just it would have hit. It would have gave it a little bit more flavor. But other than that, the acting. Like I said, the acting was good. My boy always mess up his name, but who played Bass Reeves? Give that man his flowers, bro. Give him his flowers.
Oh yeah, is it Delroy?
Delroy, man, please give this man his flowers.
He killed that, man. He was that was my dude in the movie. He was just real about it. I was like, okay, cool.
Yes, bro. Give that man his flowers, bro. Yes. This man has been killing it. Bro. Yes, he's been killing it in the game for a long time too. All the way back to Crooklyn. If people know about Crooklyn, y'all real like film people and Spike Lee fans. So that man, they need to give that man his flowers. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, definitely. He's well deserved of those. If anything, after this movie, you should be handing him flowers because he did an amazing.
And that was another point in the part of the film that I really enjoyed.
He held that shit down. He held that shit down. When he came to my boy at the beginning of the movie, and they like walked out and like to leave Stagecoach Mary there, and he was just real about it. And at the end, he was just like, "Yeah, if I see a dead body, if I see a dead grave, I'm gonna just mark him off." I was like, "Hey, you real about it because you didn't have to do all that."
Real one, real one.
Right.
And also, like, I just like how he just pulled up and just started just like unloading on everybody. It's like I didn't expect him to just go off like that. I'm like,
exactly.
I was like, I didn't expect him to have the most bodies.
But you know what? You know what, Josh? In real life, Bass Reeves was really a badass like that. They was like, he was the shit. Like he got his man, basically. If you was breaking the law and he was going after you and you was trying to have a shootout with him, you wasn't finna win that, bro.
Nah, so, he about to smoke.
For our people, all our fans out there, look up and read about Bass Reeves, man. One of the, greatest untold stories of the American history, especially the American West. First black deputy of the law, So y'all, that man was a bad dude, just like in this movie. So he was about it. He was really about it.
He came up with it, no questions asked. He was like, "Hey, I'm coming here to get a Rufus Buck. I don't care how I got to do it, but by the end of the day, your ass is about to be blown away. Like if Nat Love don't do it, best believe I'm right behind him." I was like, okay. That's the kind of guy you need on your team when you about to go in a house or whatever. You need him on your team. Really, everybody in the movie was good about it. They all were ready. Like they had an out. And at the beginning of the movie, they had no. Okay, hey, who are you talking to? Are you talking about? We're not talking about.
We're
not talking about him. We're not talking about that person.
No, her.
We're not talking. No, we're not talking about her either. I know what you're talking about. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna give you a moment, but like everybody else. Okay, all right. I'll let you talk because I can't defend it too much more. I can't do
it. Okay.
I tried.
So I want to ask both of y'all, what even was Stagecoach Mary doing the whole time, bro? Like she wanted to like when we first introduced to her, she's all like rough and tough, and she got this big old gun that she never shot. She never shot it, bro.
She really did it though. She came into town with a gun. We thought she was gonna get to smoke with Regina King right then and there. She said, "Drop the gun." I was like, "What are we doing?"
And even then, bro, like she like Regina won that fight, bro.
Yeah, she
really
got
did.
robbed. She got robbed at the end of that
got
fight
robbed.
because she was beating her ass, man. Like she was
We all know why you lost that fight. We just
the plot.
She
we
lost
all
because
know
of the
why.
plot.
Yeah.
And let's not even talk about how Stagecoach Mary got whacked upside the head with her own gun.
Oh yeah, I was about to mention that. She got her ass
like-
with her own gun. Man.
That's why I was
Twice.
like, bro.
Yeah, twice. Yeah, twice.
Cause like, bro, my thing was, okay, y'all gonna get this character, and she's supposed to be like a part of the game, but she ends up having to be saved. So it defeated the whole purpose of having her even be a part of the game because what killed me was
You about to say what I'm about to think. Okay, go
she
ahead.
sacrificed and talking about some. No, I'll go into town because they're not gonna be expecting me. So out of everybody, you had to be the one to go into town. Really? No, I know exactly what it is. It's a plot point that always dooms a Western sometimes, and that's the damsel in distress, and that's why the hero got to go into the town to save her, which they did not have to do.
He was gonna go there anyway.
He's gonna go,
bro. Yes, he wanted to kill Rufus. So it's like, what did you do all of that for? Like,
right? He was going like, my bro. Like, when I tell you, because here's the thing. She was at the beginning of the thing, like Josh was saying, she's coming out rough and tough. I was like, okay, she's gonna hold her own, whatever. Then midway, them walking, she starts getting all weird about it. Oh, you know what? You need to stay here. I'm like, you need to stay here.
Bruh, it's like her character got weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
And weaker. The more the film went on. And then it's like the whole love story. It just it did not serve any purpose to the plot of the movie. Like, I'm sorry. It was the whole ring thing. Like, I was like, y'all could have cut all of that out. That was a big chunk of meat that we did not need. Like, all that fat could have just.
You could have pretty much, if you really wanted to do that, and you really wanted to, because it really wasn't, as you say, relevant. You could have put the part where she says, "Oh, until the dust settles" or whatever. You could have put that in the beginning when she's riding out with him, and that would have tied that whole like, oh, they're in a relationship thing right away, and you could have moved on and not brought it up ever again because it's not relevant. Besides the fact of her becoming a damsel in distress, which she put herself in that situation. For whoever know why. I don't know why she thought that was a good idea with a guy who literally killed his own father. Like he's not someone to be reasoned with. My man killed that one dude who was talking funny to him in the city.
Yes, bro. I was like, bro, how y'all gonna make him like a stone cold killer and then he just miraculously takes her prisoner and doesn't kill her? Okay, bro. Okay.
Because they knew you knew they need to keep her alive for the fact that love needed to come in. It needed a reason to come in there anyway. Besides the fact that avenging his father.
I hate to say it, bro. It's always in a movie they have to make a hero fall over some vagina, man. Like,
he took the words right out of my mouth. Like, I was just say, like, I can't stand. I actually.
And it's same. It's the same with women, like heroes. Sometimes they always make the whole like guy over girl thing. Like, bro, like, really? Yeah. And then what makes it worse is they disrespecting the real life character of Stagecoach Mary because she was actually like a badass.
Yeah. Because
she was the first Black woman to be a male, like, what was it? A post office. She was like the first to like
I forget
a male. She was basically a mailman.
Yeah.
When they wasn't even letting women do it. So the fact that she was Black and a woman and she did it and she carried around her rifle and they said if she had to use it, she used it. Then if you see the picture of her, like she's a dark-skinned woman and she looked like she didn't take no shit. But the thing that kills me is, I was telling people, we're not saying you have to be accurate to the character. No, we're not saying that Zazie is not a good actress.
Yeah.
But we're just saying you don't it's like they don't give these darker skinned actresses the chances to play these characters and portray them. And it's kind of messed up because it's probably like, I can think of 10 other actresses who are darker complexion that could have played that character and done a
Yeah.
phenomenal job. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But of course, that's always been the problem in Hollywood with skin tone amongst African Americans. What's going to sell and what's going to get both audiences to watch the movie and make it be okay. And they always go with a fair skinned woman, which sucks. It really sucks. And it's happened even with comic book movies, like with Storm. They chose Halle Berry to play Storm. So
I said we haven't got an accurate Storm ever. Like we never got like ever. Like Apocalypse, X-Men, no offense to her actress or whatever, but she's not the traditional.
It's a really bad problem in Hollywood amongst the female actors. Yeah. It's a little better with male actors, but like with female actors, it happens a lot. Like I was telling Chad, they could have got the girl from Them to play Stagecoach Mary, and I think she would have knocked it out of the park.
That would have
she would have knocked it out of the park. And like I say, I'm not taking anything from Zazi's portrayal because she did what she was supposed to do. She did her part, acted what was in the script. So she did her part and she did good. Yep. It's just the way they wrote the character and how they portrayed it. I think she was just a little too weak for me. Just a little too weak.
Yeah, she had here's the thing. They wrote it to where she just wasn't as much of a even close to a badass as who she was in like real life. I don't really think there was I don't think there really was any scenes where she was really like about it besides the fight in the end. Yeah. I can't really think. Yeah. And like I said, I haven't seen the movie.
That was the most badass part. And then what was up with that cry, that like war cry she did?
It's like my biggest thing is I'm just tired of like forced romance in general. I'm just like, let's just have a movie where there isn't any romance.
It's no romance. Oh my God, Josh. Go ahead, Dmitri.
Because here's the thing: in a Western movie, you don't even have to have a romance. The crazy part about it is you can have it in the fucking like the back plot of the movie. You could be like, "Oh, these people are together, or whatever," and never address it. Never address it because it's not important.
Yeah,
it's been times in Westerns where the guy literally comes into town, and he might meet the woman. And they might mess around for a minute in the movie. And then after that, he's basically trying to do what he's supposed to do. It really didn't serve a purpose for the film. That's what made me like it. That's what took me out of it.
It served a purpose for that forced ass plot. It served a damn purpose. Don't say it didn't serve a purpose, but it did. It made that latter half of that movie happen, where she was a damn Melissa. That's what that was all about. But man. I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but we're not gonna let it slide with that crap. Not at all.
Yeah.
Call it out. I need to call it out because
that was probably the biggest letdown for me. Mm-hmm. Out of everything, and that's what knocked my score down. If they didn't have that love story and they didn't do Stagecoach Mary the way they did her, I would have loved it even more because, like you said, Josh. Honestly, if you take that love story out of the movie, it's probably like a way better film than it was because I told Chad this. I said, bro, literally, you take out the whole love story and you could have just made them partners and had them working together. So at the end, when they ride off, it's like a partnership instead of a relationship.
Yep.
Because you don't need the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, then it weakens Nat's character too because it's like he needs her to have a purpose in life.
Yeah.
To do what he's doing now. Like, after he done killed his brother, he has to have that purpose to do something else now. And it's to be with her and build a life. But that's the thing about the hero in Westerns. They don't have a chance to have a life after they've done what they've done. They have to go off into the West and ride off and keep on going until they go to the next town. So I get it. Y'all tried something new, but
it just didn't stick. It could have been like what Bath Reeves and the old girl did at the end of the thing, where she was deputized. or whatever. And that
Yeah,
could've been-
something like
that could've
that.
been-
Like
that could've
that would have
literally-
been cool.
that would've been
Yeah.
cool. Do it like
And
that.
and that's another thing. Why does the character that more relates with a male is deputized, and then she's set off into the sun with the main character as the love interest? You see what I'm saying? It's that duality where they play with the whole sex thing, like, and that comes from just film period. Like as far as like back to like in the 50s when they had what they called the male gaze, and everything was about for the men to look at. And you can have strong female characters because if you did, they had to be the femme fatale, or they had to have masculine like qualities as far as like a unisex name or short hair, don't dress real sexy or something like that. And you can be more relatable to that character. You see what I'm saying? They know Zazie was an attractive woman, so they use that to their ability. Like even the way she was dressing, like Stagecoach Mary did not dress like that, bro. Like when you first see her in the first scene of the movie, she has a what is it, corset or whatever that thing is.
Corset,
Like
something.
you know, with her breasts all pushed up and she's singing, and I'm like, bro, come on, y'all ain't even trying to hide it, man.
Exactly. And let's not even talk about how a few scenes later, she's like trying to get her rocks off. It's like,
yeah,
right, yeah, like
what?
they go, "Oh, I hate you," and then they just start going on in the room, and then like they get interrupted, like always, like the cliche of getting interrupted or whatever. I'm like, okay, fair.
Yes, bro, because I've been burning for like a strong female like character in the Western because you don't get it too much, and I was hoping that this was gonna be it because I'm like, it's time for the sisters to have that Django. Like I was like, this is gonna be the Django, but then they did it, and I was like, bro, y'all doing black women wrong, man. Give them that hero they need, man.
I mean, they tried to do that with Regina King's character, make her like more of a
But that goes back to what I said to me. What happens with the strong female character? She's a femme fatale. Exactly. What happens to her? She has to pay for being strong. She was strong and independent, and look what happened to her. She lost in the end. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It always happens, no matter what. And it's crazy because it's been 100 years of cinema, and that stuff still happens, bro. It just blows my mind.
Here's the thing, Marcus. You just got to direct it, bro. You just got to direct the
trust me. I've been writing a female lead Western since. Oh man, it's been going on for about two years now, but the idea is probably over 8 years old. Because I'm like, bruh, why can't we just have a story about a black female? It doesn't even have to be black, white, but just a female who's going out for revenge, and she doesn't have to have a love interest at all. She can have men or women, whatever it is that she comes across, and they might have a thing, but that's not her purpose in life. Her purpose is to get her revenge. She gets her revenge, and then she has to figure out what's next. What do I do now? What's my purpose? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's all. That's all we want. That's all we want.
Literally, like she goes into town, and like I said, she does what she does her mission. And if she knows she needs to blow off some steam, she does that. But she has no attachment to anything but the main goal.
Yeah,
exactly.
Main goal: kill the dude that she got to kill, or kill the person she got to kill, and keep it moving.
Boom, and keep it moving, bro.
It ain't that hard, man. Like a Western seems like an easier thing to do than a lot of other movies that focus a lot on like a heavy plot or a storyline. Even when you get your sci-fi and stuff like that, you gotta have to focus on the story. But Westerns just seems, shoot you here, shoot that person there, that person dies. All right,
it's laid out. The groundwork is already laid out, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's like Western politics. It's like a simpler time, so they have a simpler like system of stuff that they do. Like
exactly.
Yeah, it's really nothing like that goes over your head about it. That's the bad guy. You shoot the bad guy.
Basically.
Stand off, draw at the end of the movie, whatever.
Yeah, you got your crooked marshals and deputies and all that stuff. It's about the same.
We got something like that in the movie where he went into the town to rob the bank, and they like came back later on or whatever. They came in the hoods or whatever later on. We kind of got the crooked deputy kind of thing, but I was like, I could have done without that. I could have done without that little extra bit that came at the end. I was like, I don't need to see y'all. I didn't need to see y'all again. Like I didn't need to see I was like, all right, like whatever. More bodies. That was just
Yeah, that was just to have a big gunfight and have some people they could shoot. That's basically all that was.
Yeah, I was
But
like, bro, really?
yeah, but I was so funny with that scene though, because like I was when she was up at the teller, I was like waiting for her to pull out her bank card. Like
Like, oh,
like
here you go.
it's so
There you
bad.
go.
Like I'm just like, wait a second.
Being on the nose with the town that's for the white people being painted white.
Oh yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah. I was like, all right, fair.
Right. Like that was just like so on the nose.
It
But
really was.
but yeah, like but not like but now it was crazy because like back it's like with like Western banks and like Westerns rather. It's, you forget they got all the money like in the back. So there ain't no card. Ain't no card.
There ain't no debit
Exactly.
card or no bank card. It's all the money's chilling back there. That's why back in the Western you had like the robbing the banks and everything.
It was so easy. It was so
Yeah.
easy.
Come in there and be the quickest gun shooter out there, and you could get it whatever you want, dude. It was about the quick draw. Everything's about the quick draw in a Western. That's it.
Most definitely.
Yeah, but like more on what Marcus was saying. I think the whole thing. What is it? Yeah, the whole thing with Nat had the ring, and he made sure he held on to the ring so he can give it to Stagecoach Mary at the right time. That was so stupid.
It was, bro. It just made his character weaker, man. Like,
Yeah,
Because here's the thing. All it really amounted to is her storming off and getting caught up. That's all. That's really all that amounted to. Here, she's like, "Oh, I give it to the right time." She's like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." So the dust settles. He falls asleep on his horse. She goes into town, gets caught up. He got to go rescue her. Like,
boom. Just they bro.
like
And it's so crazy because I just thought of a Western that everybody shits on it, but it's a perfect example of where you don't have to have it. It's Wild West, Will Smith.
Yeah. Of course.
They make you think that they're gonna have a love interest with Salma Hayek, you know, because she's like the sex symbol, and then it's two guys and they fight over her to who's gonna be who. But she ends up actually having a husband in the end, and they stuck with each other, and they ride off into the sunset. So it's stuff like that is cool. Like you play with the audience, and then you flip it on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though that was more like a comedy, almost, but it's like stuff like that. You don't have to have a love. That's why I've always loved Westerns, because even though you had the damsel in distress, she wasn't necessarily always the love interest. Like in The Searchers, John Wayne was going to save his niece, this is a different time in cinema, so it's very racist, but he was saving her from the Native Americans because he didn't like Native Americans. And when he found out that she became one of them, he actually was going to kill her. So it's like she was the damsel in distress at first, but you see what I'm saying? That's what gives a Western like its raw, like grittiness. It's always like gritty and raw. Ain't no big love story in no Westerns, man.
Here's the thing. You so busy fighting the next big villain that you ain't got time to be stacking up with nobody. Like, you in town, you might have a fling with her in the movie, in The Harder They Fall, where they had a fling in the beginning of the movie, but that's it. You like, okay, see you later, girl. If I see you around, I see you around. I'm going to the next town. I gotta go kill Bill over here, you know?
And it's crazy because they contradict themselves in the movie about having a love life in that kind of life, because his father was killed because he used to be a man like that. He tried to go and settle down, and look what happened. His wife and him got killed, and then it could have been his son too. So it's like this. It's almost like they're contradicting what they did, because it's saying you will never be able to have a normal life if you take this path. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's why I don't understand why they went with the whole like love story thing. We understand, but it didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. It definitely made it a weaker movie. And part of the reason why I gave it a 7 out of 10 was strictly because of that, and then also some other handlements of what happened and a tiny little things here and stuff like that. But I would say overall, it's a good movie. I would recommend people watch it, but
it's definitely
understand it's not going to be an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. You're going to see some things that you're going to be like, I pay attention to that. Okay, I got to mark that down.
Like it's definitely a really good movie. It's just I feel like it's just too emotionally complex. That's all.
Yeah,
Oh my
great.
goodness, Josh, you hit it on the nose with that.
And
Bruh,
yeah,
I ain't
here.
even gotta say nothing else because that's exactly what it is. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. It's
Exactly.
too emotionally complex. I like that because that wraps it up for real.
So when we give our
Yeah.
review for it, we're gonna say emotionally complex. That's we're critics today.
Emotionally complex.
If we ever become a
It's
critic for this
emotionally
movie, it'd be like
complex.
Yes.
emotionally complex underneath the thing. Give it 3.5 stars, right? You know.
Yeah, get them 3.5. So with us talking about that, would you like to see more westerns done that way, or would you guys prefer the neo westerns like No Country for Old Men or Logan? Like, would you prefer more stuff like that, or would you like to see every now and then a good old like Western West actually in the
Like
West?
an old gritty one, like a gritty.
Yeah,
I like this. I would love to see like how far I guess they could expand the genre and give you your neo westerns, but at the same time, there's something about just seeing an old gritty. You gotta have
yeah,
to
you
have
get
it
the
every so often.
feels, man.
You gotta have to have it. You gotta have to have
Mhm.
your The Harder They Fall or your good, the bad, the evil, the evil. You gotta have those movies, and maybe to some people, Cowboys and Aliens. I don't
Yeah,
I don't
Cowboys
know.
and Aliens.
You know,
Hey,
if that's
man.
your movie, I ain't saying
Hey,
nothing
look.
to you. Hoop out, go out there and hoop like you like everybody else. Okay, we're not saying
Look,
nothing out here.
hey, look, man. I've watched movies like the Stagecoach, Red River, and when you talk about like westerns, those are like early westerns. So like they racist as hell. The like dialogue is like very choppy, like especially with John Wayne. But they good movies. They not bad movies. Like one of my favorites is The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance with John Wayne, because that's like a real complex like western where it talks about the man, like the past and the present, and it reflects on the past and why and then it goes back to the present. Like it's, if y'all ever get a chance, watch that movie, The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance, with just starring
Recommendation.
John Wayne. Yes. What else? Other movies I've seen? It's so many I didn't watch. I can't think of all of them right now, but like leading up to now, like you said, it's cool that we're seeing that in 2021, because like you said, it's been done like in a modern way so many times, so we haven't got that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they're looking back into that, and maybe it'll start up a few couple more that's pretty good. I feel like I wish he's done 2 already, but I really want Tarantino to come back and do Kill Bill Volume 3, because Kill Bill is definitely a western. That's a
Yeah.
western.
That came to my
Yeah,
mind when
oh
we were
yeah.
talking about Western movies earlier.
Yeah.
It came to my mind because I was like, that's
Yeah.
definitely.
Before we all give our final scores, I would just
I already gave my final score.
Oh yeah, you gave your final score. Me and Dmitri basically got the same score. We
Yeah.
give it a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I knew Dmitri was gonna have the same points as me, so that's why I was like, I'm okay with my score because I know Dimitri's gonna back me up.
Right, I got
So,
your back, bro.
So Josh, what about you, man? What would you give it out of a 10? What would you give it?
I'd say I give it about a 7 out of 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
like, because and also like on the subject of westerns, like I know of westerns. I watched it. I didn't finish The Good and Bad and Evil, but I know of it and
Ugly.
Blazing Saddles and whatnot. So I do have a good like perspective on like how westerns are typically handled in a more traditional sense. But I would say, yeah, 7 out of 10 is definitely fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, it's ugly. I said evil. It's ugly.
Ugly,
The bad,
yeah.
ugly.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
let me.
that.
Yeah,
I
let me.
know-
Let me.
Okay,
Yeah,
I know he
ugly,
gonna
ugly.
correct himself.
Hold on.
though.
I was like, hold on. Before y'all come at me, about my
Okay.
Western terminology, I
They
had
gonna
made
be
a
like
mistake.
Demetrius.
I thought I
Ugly.
know.
I was taking my
I
down below, just fucking typing hella
thought
hard.
it was
Like,
evil. I was like, oh no.
I was
That's
like,
what-
let me correct it before we both get put in the, in a little sunken area for Western people.
Yes,
But
yes.
by the way, if you guys
Yeah.
want recommendations, Marcus is always open to give you recommendations for Westerns. All right, just hit his DMs up.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying?
I could throw something out right now. You got The Man with No Name trilogy, which is the Clint Eastwood, which what we were talking about, the good, bad, and ugly, Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, Once Upon a Time in the West, The Search, man, what is it? Magnificent Seven, the original one. What's another one? Oh man, I just had it. It's another Clint Eastwood. I can't think of it right now.
Isn't the Hateful Eight one? The
Hateful
Eight, is
Eight?
that one?
Hateful Eight, that's Tarantino.
That's
Hateful Eight, Django.
Mm-hmm.
If you want your neo westerns, like I said, Logan, No Country for Old Men. You can put what's the movie with Daniel Day-Lewis in it? I forget the name of it. Where he be talking about drink your milkshake. What's the name of it? I just seen it the other day.
Daniel Lewis.
Yeah, Daniel, the guy who played Abraham Lincoln.
Movie. Hold on. See if I can find it.
There will be blood. There will be blood.
Yep.
That's it.
There will be blood. Yep. Found it.
There will be blood. Oh, Unforgiven. How could I forget about that one? Unforgiven. That's another Clint Eastwood. Tombstone. Yamaha. I think it's 310 or something like that. I think that's with Kurt Russell. Man, it's so many. The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance, like I said before. The Searchers. Oh, True Grit. Both versions of True Grit. The remake with Jeff Bridges and then the original with John Wayne. So yeah, y'all need some westerns to watch. We got a full list of them. We'll definitely put them in the description, or y'all comment. We'll give y'all some ideas. Let us know what some westerns that y'all enjoy.
Yeah, expand our Western knowledge, if you will. Okay.
Yes. So I definitely love it. It's a great genre, man. I love it.
Definitely.
Yeah, it is. I definitely got to check out more traditional westerns.
Yes. Oh, I just remembered it. The Outlaw Josie Wells. That's it. The one with Clint Eastwood. Outlaw Josie Wells.
And also, if you need a gaming recommendation for a Western themed game, you got your Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead.
The
original, the first one and the second one. The
The
first one and the second one. Yes.
Don't get me started on Red Dead Redemption.
Hey, that's basically a Western wrapped up in a video game. Like everything about it. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Everything about that game. Man, yeah, I had to shout out Red Dead Redemption. I couldn't go by without shouting. I knew Marcus. If I didn't, you'd be like, "Dang, I should have said it." So I'm helping you out.
Good job. I got your back on that one.
Yeah, another exactly like another game I have yet to finish.
Man, you got like a pile of them, like 100 of them, right?
Bro, exactly. I got such a backlog, bro. This is terrible.
You got a backlog at everything, bro.
Hey, Thanksgiving coming up, Josh. You got a whole week, okay?
Yeah, you better get to them games, bro, and them movies, bro. I don't want to hear it. You ain't seen the up to date on any of the Marvel properties. I don't want to hear it after Thanksgiving, bro.
Exactly. Like I fell asleep on episode 4 and 5 a Star Wars either. So
yeah, see how you messed up just then? The Force knows that you're wrong. Okay. You go watch those movies, Josh. You hear me? You watch them.
I am. Like, they're pretty dope. Like they are for sure. It's just like I was saying earlier. They're like one thing about the Star Wars movies, well, seemingly being the layman to the genre. They like to expand on the actual environment more than I guess the plot. And the plot too, but the environment is almost just as important as the plot.
And sometimes they're exposition heavy, but it is what it is. Yeah. Like you got a lot of stuff to put out in a movie, so you got to kind of. And that's why I love that they're expanding things. And I'm going to go on a tangent, but I like how they're expanding things in the animated universe, and then also the Mandalorian.
Which is a great Western. That's a neo-Western.
I'm right there.
That first episode of season 2, man, that was a straight Western.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Clint Eastwood Western, man, like for real.
Yes, but I love that like they're expanding stuff, and obviously Mandalorian is definitely a recommendation for the Western category.
Oh yeah.
If you need a little bit of Western love, you need some Star Wars, and you need some Star Wars that's a little bit higher in the Western count. Then look at your Mandalorian.
It's literally Western all day. The Child, that's like a Lone Wolf and Cub. Come on, man. It don't get no more Western than that, for real.
At all.
Another one. I didn't know like you could consider Django a Western.
Most definitely.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Western, bro. It's just nobody had the balls to do a Western like that. But Tarantino, no, like Seriously, Tarantino's the only crazy mother that could pull that off, bro. Seriously. He's crazy enough to do it. Because nobody's going to think to make a movie about Westerns, but base it around slavery, because that was something that happened like right before that time. It was all in that time frame. When he came out with it, it was funny because it's actually, Django is actually an original Western. So the character was already a movie from Sergio Leone's, like the spaghetti Westerns and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And when Tarantino came out with it, I was like, oh, so he remaking the original? And then they was like, nah, I seen the poster. I'll never forget. It said Christmas Day, and it was the year before it came out, and it was the poster, and it had him snapping the chains, and like it said Django Unchained. I was like, oh shit. I was like, is he finna do a like slave, like killing people? And he did. And I was like, bruh, he kept it true, but he took some chances. He didn't disrespect it or make fun of it at all. But he did have some comedy in it, which you need. You gotta have some kind of laughter. And I appreciate it. So
yeah.
That's always gonna be one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a movie that that's a Western. If we're considering a Western, that's a Western that I could put on at any point in time and watch it.
And see what works. The reason why the love story works in that movie, because that is the purpose of him doing what he's going to do. It's already established in the beginning that even though when Django joins Dr. Schultz to help him find the Brittle brothers and they go bounty hunting, it's established before you get to that second and third act that Django has a wife, and he tells the doctor about his wife, and they have that moment. It's the moments that Tarantino does with his dialogue that can set up those later moments. Like I said, The Harder They Fall was missing. Okay, Django told him, I have a wife. Her name is Broomhilda. The Dr. Schultz is from Germany. He's like, oh, Broomhilda from Germany. He gives him that great story about the legend of Broomhilda in Germany. Stuff like that. Yeah. So then it doesn't feel like it's a big love story. It's like, no, he's still a bounty hunter, but he's going to get his wife. Because we already know from the beginning that he was married and they were separated. Yeah. The separation part is what gives you the payoff in the end. And that's what makes it great. It's not a love story. It's I'm going to get my wife. I already have her.
Right? It's like I'm going to go get my wife from the, the slave owners, bro. We about this life right now.
Yeah. And then when he gets her, what do? They ride off into the sunset.
Exactly.
Going to see what's next. And that's what you do. And I just love like how Kerry Washington played her too in that movie. She didn't have to speak a lot. It's like the way her acting was. She delivered everything that you needed with the way her facial expressions, her body movements, and stuff like that. So that's another podcast for another day. I could talk about Django all day. I wrote a paper on it in college. I wrote a paper for it. So that one's right here, near dear to my heart.
No, that's a good movie. Recommendation plug.
But I'm thinking, so basically, romance is okay if it's like implied in the beginning, if that's more so what it's supposed to be.
It's okay if it's embedded in the plot, meaning that the whole purpose is that.
It's not thrown in, you know what I'm saying? It's something that's already established. We know what it is and we know what the mission is. Because like I said, he still was, the whole thing was, Dr. Schultz was saying, if you help me do these bounties and we get enough money, then we'll find your wife and we'll go and save her.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? It's established as almost a contract like deal that they making with each other. You help me, I help you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like at the beginning of the movie, Django's chained up and him and Broomhilda are together and they like kissing and hugging and they running away, and then she like gets taken away. He has to go find her. It's all of that has already happened. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So now we meet a man who's had everything taken away from him. That already gives him that quality of a Western cowboy, the outlaw, or the hero. He's had everything taken away from him, and he's going to get it back. Yeah. So once he gets his life back, he goes to find that new one, because that's what a lot of Western heroes do. They try to go and they find a new life, and they always revert back. That's what happens in Unforgiven. He gives the life away of being an outlaw. He goes and has a family, but it comes right back to him. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's better when, like you said, either if it's implied or it's not the major plot point, or it's not thrown in at like the fourth or fifth scene of the movie, and it's just made like this big elaborate thing. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's more or less, how do I explain it? Like with The Harder They Fall, it was like, oh, we need to make a romance happen. All right, let's talk about this in the beginning scenes or whatever, and let's not have it really pay off. But in the Django, that pays off because it's literally a part of their agreement and a part of the plot that, hey, I do this stuff for you in the beginning, half of the movie. You help me with this stuff in the back half of the movie. And at the end, we ride off.
Yep.
We ain't got to talk about no love, no romance. We just riding off like a western.
And then on top of that, Tarantino is just a good freaking writer, man. He can write and direct the shit out of a movie. So that's just good, like being a good storyteller. Because I love Tarantino because he can literally give you a 10-page scene for one scene with dialogue, but you will sit there and watch it because the dialogue is so freaking good. That's just, we will have a podcast about Tarantino one day. We'll have to do that because he deserves his own podcast.
Stay tuned, everybody. You're really eager. Stay tuned.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yes, man. Like I said, The Harder They Fall, it was a good movie.
Yeah, agreed.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Definitely a recommendation on the list of.
Oh yeah, for sure. But speaking on forced emotional complexity, let's move on to
no. Why did you do that?
Spider-Man trailer.
Why did you?
And why did they open up the trailer with my boy Pete swinging his girlfriend around town? What was that?
Wait, let me put it out there. The only normal week I've had was when I told you I was Spider-Man. That right there, I was like, oh, I know exactly what movie this is about to be. Like that was enough for me to understand exactly where this was going. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna have some damsel in distress go on. And later in the movie, later in the trailer, you see her falling. I'm like, but they're not gonna kill her though. That's what I said. I was like, they ain't gonna kill her though.
No.
That's what I said.
That trailer gave me a headache, bro. And I tried to watch it again just to make sure I wasn't just like tripping.
Yeah.
And when I watched it the second time, I think it got worse for me. Like I'm online and everybody is so hyped about this trailer. And I'm like, why? It's nothing to be hyped about. You got 6 villains he's never faced before. And then you want to say, oh yeah, their destiny is to die because they all died fighting Spider-Man. First of all of them didn't die.
Right?
Sandman didn't die. Lizard didn't die.
I'm sure Lizard didn't die. Yeah,
Electro didn't die. Cool. So that's 3 right there already.
So who we talking about? We strictly talking Green Goblin and Doc. So 2 out of the what? 2 out of the 6?
Right.
And not to mention why. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, Josh.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
I'll get my point in, and I'll obviously give it to you. But not to mention that all of the villains have no stakes with Peter Parker. They have no reason to fight him.
None at all.
Exactly.
Unless you are bringing in Garfield or Tobey Maguire. Don't even do that.
And then they're doing such a terrible job at hiding them, bro. You can tell in the trailer it seems that they're supposed to be in, bro. Like, Jesus, man.
When Lizard got kicked by that invisible kick, I was like,
bro.
It was Miles, bro. Y'all didn't know it was Miles?
Right, that was supposed to be Miles, bro. Like, I was like, it's Miles, bro. Like, it's Miles Morales.
I'm like, bro, man. Like Chad said, the plot is like so flimsy, bro. Like it's everywhere, bro.
Here's where I'm at with it. Why is my boy Peter saying, "Oh, we can't kill, we can't kill them. We gotta find a way to save." I'm like, bro, send their asses back to their universe.
Send their ass back because all of them are crazy. They're villains.
Literally, Doctor Strange. Why aren't you just magicking your way back to putting them back to their universe? Because you're the Sorcerer Supreme, so that shouldn't be hard.
They are not the MCU villains. Like these dudes really be trying to kill people, bro.
Dude,
Like,
when I tell you
Yeah.
Doc Ock was about that business in Spider-Man 2, like my man.
he was like,
on
"Look,
it.
I'm mad y'all done messed up my experiment. My wife did. I'm just gonna blow the whole town up. I got nothing to live for."
I'm kidnapping
Green
Aunt
Goblin-
May,
Exactly.
you know?
Green Goblin trying to just kill anybody. Like, bro, the fact that Green
Yeah.
Goblin had a bomb that disintegrated people and turned them into skeletons, like,
Right?
okay. So y'all think this Peter Parker is gonna be able to fight them? Okay.
But
That's why
the worst
that's why I know Toby and Garfield is in it. Because
They
he
gotta
cannot
be.
handle them, bro.
here's
Yeah.
how I know Garfield's confirmed. They set up the Gwen Stacy scene at the end of the dang thing. If he does not show up to catch her, I'm gonna be mad.
But look, that's what everybody
Yeah.
said. They said, so y'all telling me, so y'all basically just told us that Garfield is in the movie because he's gonna come and save her. And they said if he doesn't, then we don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can we talk about I need an Uncle Ben scene. I need Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield to sit down with Tom Holland and say, bruh, let's talk Uncle Ben, because you just don't know who he is. Holland don't know who Uncle Ben is. His purpose.
Like he even talked about getting bitten by the spider and everything, but he will not talk about Uncle Ben. That like really
Nope.
rubs me the wrong way, bro.
Here's the crazy
Yeah.
thing about it. And I was talking to me and Chad, we're talking about the trailer yesterday. Bro, why does he become Spider-Man? Besides Tony Stark giving him a suit, why is he
Thank
Spider-Man?
you.
Because
Thank
Uncle
you.
Ben is
Thank you.
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben is Batman's parents dying in an alley to Batman. That's his purpose.
Yeah.
That's his reason for why he does what he does.
And that's why Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man, because his uncle is killed
It's-
because of him.
Exactly.
It's just like introducing a Venom only universe, and I'm gonna harp about that as long as they keep doing this convoluted bullshit they do with that stuff. Where they drop him in the universe and the Venom is just mad at Peter Parker for whatever reason. Like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about a little bit Let There Be Carnage, because that movie was I did not like that movie.
I'm really I don't know about this Spider-Man movie right now. I really don't. Everybody, we probably 3 out of like 100 people that's like saying this. Like,
dude, I told Chad, I was like, dude, it's I hate to say it, but it's the third movie curse.
Nah.
I hate.
Bro, why
say
do
it.
they always bring more than one villain in the third movie, bro? I don't get what is up with that, bro.
Yeah. I don't understand that either. Because I would say, like, I actually thought Spider-Man 3 was great, but the whole Venom and Sandman thing was overkill. Just a little bit. It was a little
A little bit.
They had to. I was like, you got to choose one or the other.
And here's the thing: it's like it's kind of this movie. It kind of, because you have all these villains that technically nobody really knows, because unless you've been following comic book movies since the early 2000s, you don't know. You don't know about Doc. You don't know about all the other characters and stuff like that. It's what DC did with the Justice League movie, introducing a plot of people without really going in and going, okay, these are people that you got to know because they're from this thing, and kind of giving a refresher. So you're gonna have to do that in this movie. You're gonna have to give a refresher to the people who don't know who these characters are.
Because they're not gonna know. They're gonna be like, who is this? He ain't been in none of the movies.
And can we talk about the fact that up until recently, I didn't know that the Hobgoblin was in the Amazing Spider-Man. I thought that was the Green Goblin. Like, that threw me off.
I thought that was the Green Goblin too.
Like, dude, my friend literally said, she's like, in the credits, if you look in the credits, he's referred to as Hobgoblin. And I was like, really? That makes it even worse.
Yeah, bro.
But anyway, let's talk about that new Goblin, because there's a second Goblin.
It's two Goblins, because it's one with a hood and then the other one is William Dafoe.
Yeah,
so everybody's who is that? And I'm like, I don't know.
I know who it is. You know, and I said this to Chad yesterday. It's James Franco's old ass. New Goblin ass.
He's like 100 years.
Yeah.
He's like 40, man.
It's New Goblin over here. I was just messing around, but I was like, that's a New Goblin or whatever he called himself.
And then they saying like each of them were pulled from their universe before they died. But it's like you said, all of them didn't die. And then my thing with like Electro is, so like my dude, he got a chance to turn back to his regular like tone. Now he has a goatee and a fade when he had the comb over, bruh.
Yeah.
So y'all not gonna explain this to me.
He got
Yeah,
Tim's too, bro.
Right?
Bruh.
Me and Chad literally we talked about that for a good like 10 minutes about how they made my man go from being a nerdy like comb over dude to having a high top
So like, I'm about to steal your
fade,
girl.
right? A
Yeah.
fade, the stubble, the whole little electric like mask thing he had going on, and his like worker
Yeah.
outfit thing. I was like, bro, the concept art was a little bit better than that with that whole suit he had going on.
Yeah, bro. I was like, man, I don't know, bro. It's whatever, bro.
Yeah, it's too
Like-
much. It's too many cooks, bro. It's way too much stuff going on in that movie. And like you were saying to me, just like they ain't going to sit down and talk to Tom Holland Spider-Man because there's not enough time for that.
Like they gotta talk about why these people came into the universe, this and that. Then on top of that, they talking about this movie's gonna be like 2 hours and 47 minutes, bro. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't sit through that. It's these movies. Oh, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
it's here's the thing. I sat through the Snyder cut because obviously I wanted to have an understanding of what it is, and I wanted to see what he would do. I'm
but
not
we
doing
got
that
to watch
again.
that at home though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We could watch it at home where we could go to the restroom, we could pause it, we could chill, we could look at our phones. You gotta go and sit there and sit through it, like because if you don't, you're gonna miss something. And that is too. For one, it's a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man movies don't have to be 2 hours and something, bro.
They really
don't.
They don't. You know, here's the thing. I have to ask you a question, Marcus. Both of you guys, really. Who do you think is the last Sinister Six member? Like, let's give some guesses out here. Maybe we'll be right. Maybe we'll be wrong. Let's throw it out.
They're gonna make it Venom.
I'm gonna make him. I was gonna say Mysterio because we got.
Oh yeah, Mysterio's definitely not dead because they got toys and stuff for No Way Home, exactly. And Mysterio's like definitely a toy. I'm like, okay, so I guess he's not dead.
I guess
he's on Legos and everything. So yeah.
But
oh yeah.
If they don't make it him, they're gonna make it be Venom. And
if it's not him, it's Venom.
And I'm gonna be mad about it. I'm gonna be mad about it because they're trying to force him into a universe where he literally wasn't a part of it.
He doesn't belong. Like
because here's the thing about Venom. You didn't establish a Peter Parker, so his motivation for anything he does is out the window. Like, here's the thing.
And it's
here's the crazy thing. I'll let you finish, but I have to get this crap out. Up until Venom 2, I forgot Eddie Brock had cancer because they never addressed it. So I was just like, I just assumed he did. And then my friend was like, she was like, does he have cancer? And I was like, no, he doesn't. Like, that's how like undeveloped those universes are. Like, that's a great example of how the characters, how really Eddie Brock in that universe really isn't developed. He's just not.
And I was so mad because I was looking forward to them bringing Eddie Brock into the MCU, but you know,
not like
that kind of not like that. I was thinking like, oh, what if he comes like to his high school in his senior year, and then they had that kind of rivalry. So when they go to college, they end up working at the same place. Mm-hmm. I thought that's how they was gonna do it, but I was totally wrong about that.
And it also doesn't make sense of their dynamic now because obviously they were both around the same age when they had that rivalry, and it was established exactly. Like, now it's just like if he showed up in his high school, it's bro, what you doing? Like, bro, why are you trying to pick a fight with a kid?
I don't know, bro. I think I just think, man, I don't know why they're doing this.
It's dumb, bro. This feels like such a cash grab. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna bring in all these IPs just so we can get this massive payout.
So we can fund our project for the next physical year, man.
Because, bro, honestly, bro, they could have had all of these villains built into a Spider-Man movie. They could have gave him his own rose gallery because you start off with the Vulture. Then you give us Mysterio. So, of course, next would be Green Goblin because you're setting it up. So, I'm thinking that the third movie is going to be about him coming back home. And then when they did the whole reveal thing, I was like, oh, okay. So, we might get like Oscorp, and then you might get like Daredevil to defend him in court. But now it's all of this multiverse and
We don't got a Harry at all, so I just assume
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like y'all never gave us a chance to get a
Yeah.
Harry, no Gwen Stacy, and then it makes me
Yeah.
mad because now my Uncle Ben can't happen. I wanted Toby to be Uncle Ben so bad in the MCU, and now it's not gonna happen because Toby's gonna be in this movie, and it's gonna totally confuse people.
wait. No, we don't know that officially, but we know it officially.
Officially,
Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna go see the movie because obviously I just want to have an opinion about it.
oh yeah, I'm
I
gonna go
don't
fall
wanna-
asleep for 30 minutes in the movie. Yeah. Cause I know I'm gonna fall asleep. I feel
Chad told me that yesterday. I thought you watched it. He told me like, no, he fell asleep. I was like, damn, I made it through it. But like, here's the thing. Spider-Man is supposed to be a neighborhood Spider-Man. He has not been in his neighborhood since the
bruh,
first movie.
at all.
No, he's
Not
international.
at all.
He's international Spider-Man. Your friendly international Spider-Man.
Going on school trips to another country. I'm like, bro, what kind of high school you going to? Because
Bruh.
what?
First of all, Spider-Man always been known to be poor.
Exactly. There ain't no way he's able to go on that trip. He'd have been sitting at the high school and
May, bruh.
man, can you slide me a little bit of money? Like, I need to go on this trip.
Yeah, which would
And
have
then
been great.
that's another thing, bro. They're trying to introduce what is it? Feast, the
Yeah.
place that she works at.
Mhm.
But like, how are you gonna do that when you got the stakes that's so high? What's gonna be the purpose of introducing that now? Like, you gotta film like this.
Supposedly,
It's supposedly, but really the thing is, like, they messed around and made Tom Holland Spider-Man such a high-profile hero in the universe. Like, they didn't take time to make him grounded. Like, he should have had some time when he was hanging around New York and building like relationships with locals, like they did with Toby.
Or his first main villain should have been Shocker, like a well-grounded smaller villain, and then work him up to being Vulture, maybe the second one, or like or Green Goblin or whatever, being a bigger villain like Shocker or something like that, or
or like Chameleon or somebody. Because even like in the first one, like you don't even get to see him. Like, okay, he stops one bank robbery and it's at the ATM, the guys inside the bank at the ATM, but you don't see him like stop a car chase or just just save an old lady's purse. You don't see him web up the bad guys and leave them for the police like all the other Spider-Man did. You see none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because he already went and fought overseas. And he been Spider-Man for they even said he been Spider-Man for 3 months.
Yeah.
So he goes to fight overseas with the Avengers, and now he's this big person now. Like, he can't be a neighbor. Like,
or the fact that like he does mess up, but you don't see him early on in his days, like when he first like gets the suit, making mistakes with his web shooters or like stumbling or whatever. He's just already crisp with it. Like, he's already just with it. I'm like, okay.
See,
Peter?
Like I was telling Chad, this is like the first mistake I think was downplaying Spider-Man by introducing him in a Captain America movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like Spider-Man is like the big ticket Marvel hero. He should have been like the other Spider-Man incarnations. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Like like exactly.
Because that could have been anybody else in that Captain America movie. That could have been anybody else.
And also, can we? I always harp about this, but his relationship with Iron Man has always bugged me, dude. Like, not the
bugged me too, because they don't have that kind of relationship in the comic books. They never have.
Like,
because Tony's never been a mentor, like a mentorship kind of character, because he's already messed up himself. So how's he gonna mentor a kid to be a superhero? Like, really?
Exactly. By the time they met, Peter had been doing it for
Peter was in like college and shit, man.
He'd been slamming a couple villains or whatever. He'd been chilling. He's crisp about it. He's at the level where he should be in the MCU. He's crisp with it. He's got his powers handled. He knows what he's about. He knows what he's not going to do. He knows what he's going to do. He's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He ain't out here trying to fight Avenger level threats. I'll work with you guys, but that is not. I'm not an Avenger.
My thing.
I'll team up with you when you need me to come in there and swing some webs around. But to say I'm an Avenger, nah, I'm okay. I got my neighbor. I got my neighbor. He's like Daredevil, knows his area. Hell's Kitchen is Daredevil's little domain. It's 6 blocks. That's it. He
And
knows
then
that
he don't go nowhere else. He might team up with the Punisher or Luke Cage every now and then. Even Spider-Man. Other than that, he ain't going outside of New
Yeah, he
York.
goes back street level. Like
he
he
goes back
goes
to Hell's
back street
Kitchen,
level.
little
Yeah.
six block area. He's cool. He
Exactly.
knows the assignment.
Yeah. Like in Tom Holland's Spider-Man 2, he should have immediately went back to street level.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Not go across the pond, bro. To fucking what? England? Europe?
He's in
Yeah.
Europe just chilling, bro.
Just chill.
So
Just
he can
fat
get the
chilling.
girl.
In the J's,
that's
by the way.
another thing.
In the J's, by the way. Let's talk about the in the J's.
Bruh, this
Yeah.
dude is the freshest Spider-Man out of all of them, bro.
Right?
I swear. I'm
Like,
just like
he got money, bro, because he be having on J's, the brand new vans.
Right?
His vans don't even look beat up.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
bruh.
No,
bro,
the
of course
crazy
he
part
has
about-
money. It's like
Bro, Toby was in like the New Balances with the
Right? And the
with
fact
a
that
long sleeve shirt on and some Wrangler jeans.
right? And the fact that Aunt May
Yeah.
doesn't even bat an eye of him losing 5 backpacks. Like that throws me
Bruh.
off every time. I'm like, bro, he lost 5
Shoot,
backpacks and you still just giving him a new one?
You still just give him a new one. Hey man, what you
What kind-
really doing?
I was like, what kind of poor are you? Because like if that's what poor is, I want to know. I want that kind of poor. Because you're able
And
to
then
go
on
out-
top of it, bro, he gets the girl in the second movie.
yeah.
yeah. Like they're in a
Like-
whole he is in a whole relationship.
Not only
Oh,
that,
man.
but he
It's
gets
like,
one.
it's
He gets the girl in the first movie. Really, he just
Yeah,
didn't go.
yeah.
He gets a
technically in the first
senior.
movie.
In the
Like,
first, I'm like, bruh, what part of you is a nerd? Because I swear I don't grasp it. If this might be the new age nerd, that might be what the new age nerd is. Like you
yeah,
can pull,
man.
you can still
Yeah,
pull
hipster.
whatever, but like back in the day,
So-
nerds weren't pulling a senior, bro. That just
Yeah.
wasn't happening.
And nerds weren't wearing J's, okay? Look, look.
So
I know
So
I wasn't
this-
wearing J's.
this is what I gotta ask you guys about the trailer. Overall, are you more disappointed with the trailer, or are you just here we go again?
Look, here's the thing. The trailer did not explain more than, or it gave the plot or whatever, but it didn't give us anything really new besides maybe the second Green Goblin. I knew everything about that thing. I was like, okay, we got the Sinister Six, whatever. We know Toby and Andrew Garfield are in there. You already pretty much confirmed it with the invisible kick. I knew that, but I can't look. When you told me the new trailer was out, I was like, and you were just like, oh, you need to go watch it. I was like, do I really though? Can I just not? Because like I just
You
wasn't.
didn't have to, bro.
I just really wasn't excited about it because I just knew that I just wanted them to give the movie at this point in time. My expectations.
Yeah, I don't think they should have did a second trailer.
because
I'd rather them just wait to
Yeah.
show us all that in the movie.
unless you are showing me a confirmation that Toby and
Toby, yeah, that's what.
if you
That's
show
the
me
only reason I was watching it, bro. I was waiting for them to like at least a shadow or something. They
or
didn't
him
do
pull off
nothing.
his mask and be like, "Hey, I'm from da da da," or whatever. But here's the thing. With the last movie about the Mysterio and him and them teasing the multiverse, but saying it was, but not, I'm already just not, I'm not excited or I'm not sitting there going, oh, I'm excited to see what they're doing because they're introducing the multiverse. I'm like, it's not going to be what they give me. Like they're introducing the multiverse or whatever, but it's not going to be exactly what I want it to be. And
This movie, to me, like I said, bro, I'm just like, I'm looking all online. I'm going on YouTube. I'm just looking for like that one person that thinks the same as me. And you can't find them because everybody's, oh my gosh, it's Green Goblin. It's like my good friend Chris said, my film buddy from school.
Nostalgia. Yeah.
Nostalgia, bro. It's all about nostalgia. And they know that. And that's how they get people. Like, of course, if you show Doc Ock, Green Goblin from the Sam Raimi and Sandman, and then
Willem
take the
Dafoe
Lizard
coming
and
back.
Willem Dafoe, like these people we grew up watching. Of course, somebody's gonna get happy because that's what they love. But it doesn't serve a purpose to the film. Like, what is okay? Because he said something while he was making the spell, and it threw him off. Okay, I get it. That's cool. It opens up some of the universes.
Yeah.
But
of course.
you got to choose at least one or two. You can't. You have 3 from the Raimi universe.
Yeah.
3 and 3 big villains. Okay, then you get 2 from. I always forget the guy who directed Amazing Spider-Man. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
But
I'm blanking it, but right now.
You get 2 from that one, And then you gotta remember, like we said, you throwing Venom in there. Okay. So it's
Well,
it's too
it's
much. It's too much for me.
it
Too
kind
much
of
going on.
falls into the idea of the last Star Wars movie, where it's literally nostalgia. Like they
Yeah.
pumped that movie with so much nostalgia that the movie itself wasn't good. But you
Yeah.
were fooled to believe it was when you went to the theater to see it. You were fooled to believe it was a good movie. And so
Yeah, they ain't fooling me this time.
you actually sat there and you processed it and you're like, nah.
Disney, y'all ain't fooling me this time. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, like that stupid Jones was said. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again.
We realized J. Cole's verse or whatever. We realized J.
Yes,
Cole.
bro.
3 times for the chopper.
He said, I'm gonna go see it because I'm a Marvel fan. I love Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I'm not gonna go into it with high expectations. I'm not.
Exactly.
That's what it is. I'm just gonna go into it for what it is. And I'm telling y'all now, they're gonna put Miles in the movie. I hope y'all know that.
Bro, no, here's the thing that made me mad. And I'm gonna share this to you guys. It's not about Miles related, but it's definitely about a post-credit scene that might tie in. But Chad brought up a point that pissed me off. Is he said what Marvel's gonna do is they're gonna put Toby and Andrew Garfield in a post-credit scene, and that's just gonna be their introduction. And I'm just like, you know what? That would make me so mad. Like I would be stuck.
Bro, I would go back to the front and say, "Can I have my money back?" Because they took my money. They told me it's gonna. Oh man.
And then here's how it ties into the Miles thing. And then they're gonna come into the universe in that scene, and they're gonna be bringing Miles from a different universe or whatever. He's gonna go, oh yeah, we found Spider-Man on the way here.
When he literally exists in the MCU, he already exists. I don't get it, bro. How do you not have a character that exists? You put the man whole uncle in the movie. He said, I got a nephew. You got to delete a scene where he's on the phone with him saying Miles.
He's in the universe. All you got to literally do is put him there. Like, that's all you got to do. You laid it in the plot so early on that you don't really have to do much but just introduce him.
Like by now, I know he's in high school, bro. He got to be like a freshman.
Because of Blip.
Like, unless he got blipped, I know he got to be like a freshman or something.
Oh yeah,
like,
he got it. No, he got. If he just take it back, because I don't know what grade Peter Parker is in right now.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He was a freshman in Homecoming, and then like he went off. We don't know what because of the blip. Technically, he's a sophomore, but I don't know. You never say it.
Yeah, and so this is supposed to be the third movie, and we're all going past this like Homecoming, Far From Home, and it's all being high schoolers. And he must be a junior or a senior, like either one.
Who knows?
No, it doesn't make sense unless they define what grade or how old he is. If you can put Miles there, because you don't really want Spider-Man and Miles to be around
the same age.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really work too well because he's still getting the ropes. Peter
he's supposed to be the mentor to Miles, and it's like, bro,
but it doesn't really work.
I didn't even set that up, bro, to happen because I want to bring back Green Goblin and
whoever the new Goblin or Hobgoblin or whoever the hell that is. I was saying it was Ned, but I was like, I don't know, man. From the still image, I can't pick. It might. You know how they are with editing and stuff.
It's Marvel, bro. Who knows?
Because they've still been hinting they hinted like him becoming, because like they were like, oh, I could be your guy in the chair, and there's definitely a story plot where he's literally a guy in the chair. Mm-hmm. So they're hinting to it, but they're just not giving it. And also he went through a transformation in this movie, like he's slimmed down.
Yeah, he lost weight. He lost weight in real life. So
he fit. He got fit and stuff like that. Maybe they'll do something with it, being that who his character is in the actual story, and I hope they do. Cause no, don't do that. Because Flash Thompson and Venom is in the same universe. It's too easy for him to. That's why I said no. Like it came to me in the mid podcast.
Basically, here at the Square Round Table, we love Spider-Man. We love our comic books. We love our MCU.
Yes.
But for the past few years, we just felt like they've been like feeding us more than we can digest. This is one of those movies. Yes, it's just a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sometimes you shouldn't use a trailer to determine the outcome of a film. But with Marvel's track record, a lot of times their trailers give you what you're going into, what you're finna go into.
And this one spelled it out for us. Like they spelled the plot out for you. Like
basically,
if this movie is not the plot from that trailer, I'll be surprised. And I'm going to go
too.
I'm going into this movie obviously with giving it a chance. So even if I'm giving it crap right now based on the trailer, it won't affect. It's not going to affect me going.
I'm totally going in with an open mind.
Yeah,
most definitely.
It's not like I'm gonna go in there with a pre-rating system and be like, oh, I came in with a 5, and at the end of the day, it gave me a 9 out of 10 because it was great. No, like I'll give it what it is, and when I go see it,
and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
So that's what we do here, guys. We look at these trailers. Analyze them, break them down.
We're very critical, man. So
we keeps it real, man.
We keep it 100%.
We ain't those nostalgic, hyped up people who get happy because you see the pumpkin bomb. Like we keep it real, man. I was happy when I heard the pumpkin bomb, and that first trailer was great, actually.
Yeah, that was great.
Honest, that was a great trailer.
Agreed. But it's just. Once the nostalgia wears off, you're gonna have to look at it and say, "What is this movie? What are we watching here? What's the plot? Is it strong enough? Does the Spider-Man in this movie carry it, or is he being carried?" Because I feel like Spider-Man, especially heavily in the last one, he was carried. He was carried through that last movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I give him the first movie because obviously they had to make Iron Man a big role, so of course Iron Man carried it. But the second one, I was like, dude, you got to stand on your own, dude. As Fury said, you've been to space, man. Like you don't need somebody having giving you training wheels no more. You've been to space. You're an Avenger. You died. You came back. You did the whole hero lifestyle. You killed people.
And you literally took the training wheels off.
Exactly, literally took the training wheel program off. So we don't need this. I don't necessarily need to see Doctor Strange be the father figure again. I really hope that y'all give a flashback of Uncle Ben so we can get over this whole father mentor role kind of thing he's got going on. I get it because he's a younger Spider-Man. It makes story wise, it makes sense. I get it, but at the same time, I'm not interested in seeing that happen for a third movie. It's played out.
Yeah.
Because after him, especially after Endgame stuff and him becoming an Avenger, that mentor stuff needed. You can give him advice, but I think Doctor Strange might be doing that in this movie because he said, "Hey, you need to fix this problem." So maybe he might be on his own a little bit more than he was in the other movies.
But that's just the thing, though, because like we already know with this Spider-Man that he doesn't want to be left alone. So that gives you enough of a hint that he's gonna have two other heroes at the max to help him fight all these villains.
Yeah, because
who else but the other Spider-Man?
Yeah, because as Chad always says, like the universe was set to be a support system for the Spider-Man. It wasn't meant for him to be his own Spider-Man. So the whole entire working of the movie and how the universe works was to be a support system to uplift and to push him, to give him the support he needs because he's not necessarily a full-fledged Spider-Man yet. He's not able to carry himself. And by the way, shout out to Chad for that awesome analysis.
Yes, big shout out. We love you, big guy.
Miss you, bro.
Yeah. Yes, man. Go ahead and get that degree, man. We waiting on it.
We waiting for you, bro.
We waiting for it.
Hey, man. Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, man. So what you gonna say, Josh?
Wait, no, I was saying basically exactly what y'all was saying. It's just so much going on in that movie, and it's just they didn't have to do it like that. Like they could have just gave Tom Holland Spider-Man the Green Goblin and saw where it went from there.
Yeah, because Green Goblin is like they say venomous, but I consider Green Goblin more of his main arch villain.
That's his biggest arch villain. Yeah,
because they want to say Venom, and I'm like, dude, do you know about Goblin? Because Green Goblin was.
And then plus he has more ties to Green Goblin with him best friends with the Green Goblin's son. So
exactly,
it's more to that story. But
and then
of course, we're not going to get it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But of course, we're not going to get it now because Green Goblin exists from another universe.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe the second Goblin is like more or less like or he's inspired by the Green Goblin from another universe. Maybe that's what that
Maybe.
is. Like, or the Green Goblin, hey, I found, maybe that's how they introduce Harry. Like, he finds Harry in this universe, gives him some tech, says, hey, here's some serum as well, and he becomes the Goblin of that universe. I don't know. I'm just trying to help you out a little bit, Marv. I'm just trying to give you a little bit.
Hey,
it's
man,
not a great idea, but it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing. We're gonna go see it. We're definitely gonna come back and talk to you about it, give you our thoughts. We got like 4 weeks till it comes
it's
out?
precisely a month today.
Yeah, a month. Yep. So see, we got time. We'll see how it goes. You guys let us know what you think about the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll probably get a little slack, a little shade thrown at us, but hey, it's okay.
It's
we
okay.
enjoy it.
It's all
Me
right.
and Demetrius, we love it.
We
love it.
Love it, but we're not gonna sit here and not be critical of something just because we love it. Like,
so
I think when you're a fan of something, you are able to be critical of it, but also have an appreciation and love for it. You love it. That's why you can be critical, is because you love the property. It's like Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but I'm still critical of the sequel series. I'm still critical of the first movie, and then maybe the Clone Wars because it didn't really do what it needed to do. But I do give credit to the prequel of the third movie because it was a good movie, or the best out of the prequels. But anyway, you can be critical of things, and I think a lot of people aren't trying to be critical of things because they just like it's because Marvel they have a formula of bringing out these watchable movies, and you don't want to be like, oh, this is a bad movie or this, that, the other, and then have the fandom be like, oh, you're not a real fan or this, that, the other. So they go, okay, it's not the greatest, but it's enjoyable. No shade to the people that love this trailer. Y'all are cool. We can geek out about the things that we liked about it together. It's
so
cool.
y'all definitely come talk to us. Come talk to us at our Facebook group. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk in a Facebook group because like that movie, it's not unlike that movie. It's not emotionally convoluted. All right.
Hey.
Exactly.
Words of the day, by the way.
New word of the day.
Right. So basically, speaking of emotional complexity, in closing, basically in pretty much watching The Harder They Fall, as well as pretty much watching the other Spider-Man movies and watching the trailer as well, we could conclude pretty much that The Harder They Fall had too much emotional complexity, while Tom Holland Spider-Man doesn't have enough.
That's a great way to
put it. Yeah, Josh.
Hey, Josh, you killed it tonight, man.
Yeah, that's all you, bro. Yes. You got this, man. You did the damn thing, bro. That
the end. We gonna end it on that.
Full circle, man. Man.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. I try.
But as always, if you like the video, you can like, comment, subscribe if you like the video, you can like it, obviously. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to get notified, or if you want to have more videos in the future, or you want to see this video when it comes out. You hit the notification bell underneath the video so that you get notified of every video that we put in the future. Leave us a comment about anything. If you are juiced about the trailer and you disagree with our critical analysis of it, literally put it down there in the comments and I will be there. I will come there. Yeah. I am wearing my Marvel sweatshirt right now, and I am ironically wearing the Iron Man, I literally talked about. So I'm with it. Like, we could do this, all right? Follow us on our socials, our Instagram, our Twitter, and join that pesky Facebook group that is similar to the No Way Home trailer in the fact that it's not emotionally complex. But also, if you want to view this video, if you want to listen to this video in its entirety, you can find it on our website, squareroundtablepod.fandomlim.com. I repeat that again, squareroundtablepod.fandomlim.com. And as we close out, I would love everyone here to introduce themselves again. And I am your host, Dmitri.
I am Josh, #yes, #no.
And I'm Marcus.
And this has been the Square Round Table Podcast. And we are out. Peace.